bit tricky to get it going quick enough to really make a huge impact. If they starts to fall behind, Ancient Apparition is not a hero that's going to be able to recover super easily. So a bit of a gamble with that hero right now.
Faceless Void is one of the heroes that can heal against Ancient Apparition, though, right? You know, there's the three things: there's the Sunder, there's Time Lapse on a Weaver, and then there's Time Walk from Faceless Void. So for that reason, that one makes sense. And of course, people love running Faceless Void with Ancient Apparitions, guaranteeing that that Ice Blast is going to hit most of the time. So that pick makes tons of sense to me. They get rid of the Invoker. You were talking about that one. You know, you don't want to play that against the Ember Spirit. We talk about that all the time, and that's usually banned out against the Ember Spirit. So they still do have the flexibility there if they want to put Leo Style in the mid, but it probably will still be Matthew regardless of that.
Again, it's a flex pick. They've got plenty of options going on here. So if they decide that, you know, maybe Leo Style, he's feeling real strong after that last game. He was very powerful, you know. Has SA gone too far? Have they made Leo Style too powerful? Is he just going to take over all of our games now? I don't know, you know, but it's still an option on the table, and it's also something that No Pangolier do have to consider. So be interested to see now what the bans are coming out from the side of No Pango, where they think things are going to be laning, and what they're most afraid of.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting one to ban out. You know, normally you'd be more than happy to play against the Drow Ranger when you're playing Faceless Void. Am I wrong?
I guess they're afraid of the aggression coming out from Thunder Predator, right? Because they really put their foot on the gas pedal. And a Drow Ranger, yes, you have a Faceless Void, but when you don't have the Chronosphere up,
10 seconds.
You know, it's going to be difficult to get into those back lines. You do have a Slardar, but Slardar is going to take a while to be able to go grab up a Blink Dagger, get that initiation off. And I have to say, right now, there's no real synergy with the Faceless Void other than Oracle with the, you know, the Purifying Flame. So kind of interesting what they have going on. They go for the Abaddon though over on Thunder Predator, and I'm not sure if that's a support Abaddon. I do like it. It's going to be able to, you know, kind of heal up and keep people alive, but I don't know where they're going to run it.
And that could be in a number of places. They don't run position 1 Abaddon. The only people that do that is Beast Coast, if I'm not mistaken. Now, they could have watched their game and been like, okay, you know what? If they can do it, we can do it too. But it makes sense for against the Slardar because you're able to dispel that Corrosive Haze. They're going to have huge damage with that one. You have some sort of save in the Chronosphere. It does kind of function the same way that Wraith King does, in the way that you're not able to just bring down the Abaddon in one Chronosphere when you're playing against him. So, you know, if it was Beast Coast instead of Thunder Predator here, I'd say, okay, that's probably going to be a K1 Hector Abaddon, right? But here, I'm not so convinced, unless they've just been doing their research, been like, okay, this is how it's done. This is how we're going to do it. Let's copy Beast Coast. But given that I haven't seen it yet, I don't think now's the time.
Seen maybe one team try to run the Abaddon. I don't remember which one it was. Brain's turning a little bit to jelly at this point, but I don't believe it did as well as Hector's Abaddon. Most likely, they might be shifting this over here. It might actually end. Actually, no. Frank the Tank. That's probably a Frank Abaddon, come to think of it. Probably a Frank Abaddon with the Ancient Apparition going to be Woo, and then the Ember Spirit, you've got the option.
How they close this one out? Oh, yeah, I know how they close this one out. They get a puck. Put Leo Style on the puck.
Oh, I love Leo Style puck. I actually really love Leo Style puck.
Problem solved. Put Leo on the puck. You have a lockdown for the Faceless Void. You get on the back line onto the Oracle. You grab that. Your draft is perfect. Everybody gets to go home, and South America can rejoice for taking this win. That's how I see this one. But No Pangolier, I am curious as to how they round this one off. There's some decent spells for them to steal on the Rubik, you know. Ixter, he's going to have an all right time with that one. How do they ran this one? They have to ban out the puck here, right?
I don't know. I mean, they could still go for something like a Void Spirit if they wanted. They could go for the puck for the lockdown. There's a couple options on the table that No Pango have to consider here.
Mm-hmm.
What are they most afraid of, I guess?
They gotta be most afraid of the puck. I mean, being stuck inside the AA blast, suddenly you have all that lockdown for the Faceless Voids, able to jump on the back and kill the Oracle. Storm Spirit did make a bit of sense. You know, if you pick up an early Orchid, you can shut him down. But right now there is
internet connection.
It is a bit
This
of lockdown
means
problems. You
that
just have like the searing chains and then just the Wraith Fire Blast on Wraith King, and I feel like that isn't enough. Void Spirit could do as well, if they're just worried about Leo style having tons of reach here. But I'm
We need
really
something to get
sold
into the
on
back
Puck.
lines. Yeah, the Void Spirit ban was smart
Mhm.
because you want to get onto the back lines, onto the Oracle. You want to make sure he can't get any of the spells up. There's still the Puck, though. Like you said, he could still get into the back lines, get the murder over onto the Oracle. That's putting a lot of pressure, though, over onto MNZ because a Puck can't carry a game alone.
10 seconds.
Yeah, that is true. You see Leo style last game, you just watch him pop off. I think you're more afraid of him running away from the game with the Void Spirit than you are with him doing the same thing on a Puck. And they grab a Wind Ranger here. Interesting.
No likey.
Well, here's the thing about that one. You could still put Matthew on the Wind Ranger here. Actually, you could shuffle heroes around a lot depending on what the last
Solid.
pick here is on No Pangolier. I don't hate it for that reason. You still have a little bit of flexibility of what player is playing what. Pangolier, they have a minute to talk this out. Or sorry, No Pangolier. I wish they were just called Pangolier. Everyone else seems to see them that way.
Yeah, right?
But they have a minute to talk this one out and decide what's the best pickup here. They do need something to round this draft out, but they also need something that's going to have a solid performance no matter what in the mid lane. Lena is one hero that would have done that, but with Ember Spirit to jump on the back line, I feel like it wasn't crazy. Actually, yeah, I wouldn't have hated Lena here. They only have Ember Spirit and happen to be on a support hero. And even like in the lane, the Lena is going to do an all-right job. So that one would have been a safe pick where, you're not worried about either getting outplayed or ganked and whatnot on stars.
I mean, they also need stuff to go in the Chronosphere.
They do, yeah. Lena would have
They-
provided that to you.
Yeah, they don't have much to assist this Faceless Void, so early game, these Chronospheres aren't going to do a whole heck of a lot. Okay, that provides something. That looks pretty good. The fact you can drop the Nimbus, you can start to, nuke down the Wind Ranger, even if she's got the Wind Run on. That's decent. I like it. I am concerned, though, is a little squishy. So if he gets shackled up, this Wind Ranger is going to blow him up.
Solid
But
state, right?
again, we're still kind of waiting to see who's playing what here. So it is a Frank Abaddon, MJZ obviously playing that. Okay, it is a Leo style Wind Ranger, and Matthew's going to be playing the Ember.
Solid state drive
So
is
about
a solid state storage device that uses integrated circuit
expected.
assemblies to store data
God, Ancient
persistent,
Apparition doesn't even look like Ancient Apparition.
typically using flash memory and functioning
No,
as
it doesn't. It
secondary
looks like
storage
Dr.
in the
Octopus or
hierarchy
something.
of computer storage.
I don't know what he looks
It
like,
is
but
also
he's
sometimes called a solid
gone through
state
some
device
changes.
or a solid.
for sure. So what do we think? I'm a little concerned about the Snow Pango draft. I like the fact that they do have an Oracle, but at the same time, they do have the Ancient Apparition. You've got Matthew's going to be just running constantly at stars because they don't have any way to save stars, really. And they have ways of getting into the back lines actually quite easily with the Leo style Wind Ranger and, of course, the Ember Spirit just, throwing out remnants, chasing down Pingu, and just chasing down stars here. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be a little bit tough for them.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's got to be Pingu here on the Oracle protecting stars. It's interesting. He's playing all these defensive heroes. He loves Winterwife. He's been playing a lot of Omni Knight. He's been playing Oracle now. The question is, can they stop his aggression coming out from Leo Style and Matthew in conjunction with each other? This guy, he showed off last game just how good he is. I think he's going to play a very aggressive Wind Ranger here. He might rush a very quick blink or just play very far forward. Do keep in mind, in Stars Zeus, this was a pretty strong hero that we saw yesterday. He actually managed to take a game off of Cat Jammers with it. You were there.
I can't remember. I'm there. Oh, God. Be interesting to see, though. Like we said, they have quite a bit of aggression coming out from the side of Thunder Predator. It's always how they like to play. I mean, one of the other signature things that they like to do is, at the 4-minute mark, you start to see everybody rotate towards that mid lane. So Stars has to be very aware of that, as does Pingu. He's got to be ready to teleport. And if they see that they are making those plays, they're definitely going to try to take advantage of it in other lanes as well. So interesting, for sure.
Exactly. MNZ starting to cut trees. The bottom line, finds himself paths to escape from the enemy should they try to contest him picking up the battery rune or suddenly run into a bunch of heroes. here in the. Ooh.
Oh, man, putting some pressure over here on Lice. Already used that time walk. But is going to get phased out away from this rune. Yeah, just kind of hanging around, seeing if he can figure out if there's any wards. Keeping tabs over here.
Morning, everyone.
See anything. Man, I love
attack
this
is
Arcana.
about
It is absolutely
A
beautiful.
launcher is an
Wind
application
Ranger?
itself,
Yeah.
a third-party
eyes look
user
kinda
interface.
Weird.
Like a little bit anime style, you know, a little bit bigger. You like the anime.
Hmm?
You're a weeb.
What is anime?
Don't even. Don't even. Your name is literally Neff Sensei. Get out of here, you weeb.
Didn't get it for a second.
Alright, well. Lots of pressure being placed over here on Lice. He's going to try to time walk some of this damage off, but they'll get a couple of value clicks as well. Like off from Matthew. Love seeing him on this hero, by the way. I think that Matthew gets a lot done with his Ember Spirit in that position 4.
What's he sending out to himself right now? I think he's just moving the courier forward a little bit.
Got some tangos coming out for Matthew.
Copy.
A lot of fighting back and forth in this top lane so far, but already Ancient Apparition making his way back bottom is going to support MNZ and his endeavors of farming.
natin kung ano.
All right, looking over here in the mid, you know, this is a one Stars has to be a little bit more careful. You know, he got punished the other day when he was playing against Quinn, you know, exhausting too much mana on the early levels when he was playing that Skywrath Mage. I was talking to No Pangolier as well, and Stars in particular. You know, every game that they lose, they go back and they watch the replays and they figure out exactly what went wrong, and they've been improving every day because of it. So he's being, and you can see the improvements from them as they go along in this tournament. You know, he's playing, and his team is playing just a little bit better every single day. You know, he said especially Quincy Crew, that loss after they did pretty good in the laning phase, didn't like lost super hard afterwards. He said taught them a lot. So I'm interested in to see, you know, again, how they play against a team the caliber of Thunder Predator. Last game, it didn't go well for them. This game, I think he'll do whatever it takes to play a little bit safer against Leo style to stop him popping off and having the same game that he did last time. You know, these teams, when they get to play in tournaments like these, they improve very fast if they put the effort in. And they are here on No Pangolier.
No, I think that's one thing I really love about watching the open qualifier teams is the fact that you get these opportunities, that you get to play against these really fantastic teams that you might not necessarily get to have if you're just playing your pubs and whatnot. You learn a lot from it, and it's really nice to see, you know, again, these tier 2 teams that are making their way through get the chance to learn. They take each like loss, like you said, they go back, they look at it, and they're like, oh man, you know, this is really cool. They did this here. This is how we ended up, you know, losing it because we didn't, you know, get our positioning. Our item timings were a little bit off, and they were super hyper aggressive, and they just got there a little bit faster. Like, I love that. And I think it's really great that they are taking the time to go back and look at their replays. So TLTR, I'm glad that they're taking advantage of the
look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a drone.
Sorry, that was a bit long-winded.
No, it's completely understandable. I think it's pretty important. You know, a lot of people are watching, they probably wonder how they can get better. One thing that I love to do when I work with a team right now, and I have worked with a couple, is I record scrims. Not because it's any better than watching in Dota TV, but because communications is really important to listen to when you line up with gameplay, because comms are super important in Dota 2.
Agreed. And also the trust issue, right? Like the fact that, especially if you've got someone super hyper aggressive, like Mr. Leo style here in the mid lane, you need to be able to just trust your mid laner, right? If he's going in, if he's playing something like Storm, he can't hesitate. He's got to go in. He's got to take these chances, and you need to just trust him and follow up. So comms are extremely important, as is trust, for sure.
Leo style is actually trying to outperform Stars here in the mid lane pretty hard. You know, he's throwing a shackle forward and whatnot. It latched onto the creep and not Stars there. You know, when you make plays like that, it shows like you're really trying to pop off in the lane. Ooh.
Oh, look at Matthew securing up the run. I told you. I told you. Now, 4-minute mark comes around. You'll see the rotation come out from the side of Thunder Predator. They'll always make sure that they can grab up these runes here for Leo style. And if they see an opportunity, like, here we go, double damage here. He's going to chase down Stars. He's got the wind run, and that's going to be first blood. Leo Style already on a roll here. Sees Exter. Got some... No, he's going to take some tower damage. He doesn't want to have to deal with that. I think he thought that the creeps were going to draw more of this aggro, so...
Do you see him dropping?
And again, though...
He's going to get him. I think. Power shot?
You are casters cursing Leo Style. Thank you for that.
No.
Enough?
Leo, I am so sorry, Leo. Oh my god.
Yep, you're fired. Because he'll never notice you now. And if he does, it'll just because he's angry.
Nah. Fair enough. Ixter, he's got his dancing shoes on, you know.
All right, maybe go back in, get the kill. If
Like
he
I
insists.
said, never doubted Leo Style. He had him the whole time. You guys all heard it. Neff predictions, everybody. Wow.
I like how Leo Style opts to go for the bounty rune of stars here instead of going for his own. Just making sure he can deny it here from the Zeus, who's only got 2 bottle charges left. Has gone right back over here into the lane.
Yep. He's got a javelin and an observer ward coming forward, so this will give him. He's going to place it to get sight on his Zeus as he's trying to do some other stuff. And you know, I think the courier arrives around the same time that his focus fire comes off cooldown, so he's hoping not to reveal the javelin and just run at the Zeus and blow him up. Stars, you know, he's playing a little bit further back right now. I think he knows that Leo Style is much stronger than him, and I really like this. You know, you did die getting dove under the tower right there, but he's still not giving Leo Style a chance to pop off.
I think part of that too was the fact that he had the double damage rune. But yeah, Leo Styles just knows the limits on this here very well. Oh god, Lukey in the bottom lane. He is gonna just perish as MJZ freezes him up. And Matthew again making sure that Leo Style has this rune available, so he'll go snap up this illusion rune and go right back on doing what he's doing in this mid lane.
Yeah. Leo, you know, throws the power shot forward, tried to interrupt Stars' clarity on him. It was near the end of the duration. He did miss, though, so he doesn't end up getting anything out of that, which is a shame. I think, no. I thought the Rubik gave him a clarity, but that was his. So actually opted to go no points in a lightning bolt. He's just working on shoving out the lane, clearing out these jungle stacks, and it will kind of limit his ability to rotate and take team fights against the enemies. It make them a bit weaker at the start, but you know, again, when you're playing against Leo Style, given his performance last game, you want to go for the safest build possible.
Frank is in need of some assistance here, but they do manage to go and silence up Lies. And Matthew, though, he's slippery. He just walks away.
This guy's got some moves and feet.
I mean, it's not even that he has the moves. He literally just walks away because what do you have? You've got Fortune's End, and that's pretty much it. So they'll pop off the Aphotic Shield here, but the heal go over here on Frank, it's actually, no, there it is. They'll follow up with the Zeus Ultimate, Thunder God's Wrath, and the rotation, though, coming out from Leo Style. He wants to get this kill on Lysa. He's going to be able to find it, and he's going to be able to put some decent damage on Pingu. Doesn't have the Shackle, though, has already used it on the Faceless Void.
Yeah.
But he chonked him real good with that one click.
Yeah, and you know, the reason why he didn't have the shackle shot, he need to use that even if it only stands for the 0.5 second 0.75.
No, he's all right.
Gonna make it out of that one.
Got the
Dyer's bottom tower won't last long.
got it's just like amp damage. What the heck is it called? Corrosive Haze. That's it. Leo Style finds another kill on Stars. Though he's going pretty deep. MNZ going right back in again. Starts poking away. Lukey taking a decent amount of damage, but double damage picked up for Leo Style. Man, he has gotten every single rune with some help from Matthew, of course.
Yeah, one mistake that Leo Style has made so far. You know, his courier did go down. It was going to complete his wand. It flew right through the tower, and that one finished it off. You know, next here, I don't know. I think you just. Ooh.
Hold on to that thought. No, Frank tanking up this tower as he's just chasing after Lies. Gets that proc off. Does have to be a little bit careful. And Leo Style over here in this mid lane, just poking away.
Forced to get back now. It sucks that he lost the wand on the courier. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but you know, the courier being dead for a little while.
Lukey. Slithering Crush, though. Go and shackle him up to the tree, though. Leo Style getting himself another kill, but they managed to turn it right back around again as Pingu comes in hot. Gets the kill on Leo Style.
That one is pretty big. It sucks that it was split up and it was split to the two supports over here who were alive. That kill on Leo Style would have been worth a lot of gold. So unfortunately, you know, you're not going to get a recovery gold from Stars or Lukey there, but you do slow down the game of Leo Style by just a little bit, and that's going to make all the difference right now. The fact that he was just dominating.
He's been having himself a really good time this game, sitting at 4-1-1, and a decent amount of net worth as he's got the boots bottle and the javelin online here. So definitely making that pressure on the map and making it very difficult. 10-minute runes are up though. He's gonna back off. Do a little bit of scouting here. Manages to find himself a broom handle. Pick up the bounty runes. Thunder Predator grabbing almost all of them. And he grabs himself, again, the action rune.
You know, when you're good, you win those 50-50s. It's not just that, though. It's the fact that Matthew, he's been rotating in, setting up everything for him.
Oh, Lukey bottom lane. He's going to shatter. Takester now running away. We do have the level 6 online for Ember Spirit if they want to try to use the Remnant and catch him up here, but not too interested. Mid lane again, Oh, Pingu. He's forced to use his ultimate on himself, and he's still very dead here. Boop, 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 and down he goes. Leostel will focus back on the tower. TP coming out from Zeus. Does have a decent amount of nuke damage here. Leostel having to be a little bit careful. Does have a couple of these wand charges, but with that shackle, the follow-up coming up now from Matthew. Thunder God's Wrath, not quite enough, but the tower comes through. He's got the wind run. They use the smoke to make sure that Leostel can run away. Matthew, God.
Yeah, you know, he knows he can't die again here on Leo Style. He's just been popping off, though. It puts him even closer to his MKP. I'm not sure it was necessary. You did bottle up. I'm not sure if it deflected just one of the tower shots or two. It does disjoint as it comes out on you. You know, using smokes like that in professional games are rarely worth it because they do so much for you later on. But, you know, given how hard Leo Style's owning, I think it was worth it. And while he does all this, you know, the entire team is focused and looking at him on Leo Style. But MNZ,
Leo
he's
Style
actually
finds Pingu bottom lane. Quick pick off.
he just doesn't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. Look at this. He finds Lukey over here. Look, they'll throw out the corrosive haze. They're going to try to hold him in place. Ice Blast comes in hot. That's a dead Lukey. And now Aegster left behind, shackled up to the tree. Oh, it's a nice Chronosphere coming out from Lies. But again, they don't have anything else to throw into this Chronosphere. They have the save. No, it's not going to be enough. They get the kill, but they manage to go shackle both of them up here. And now they're looking like they're going to end up just being satisfied with the kill on Aegster. But
he had 4 stacks of time dilation on Leo Style, so, you know, given the fact that you're that slow, your abilities are taking that much longer to come back up, you have to play that a little bit slower. I was just touching on, you know, with how much you're owning on Leo Style and how focused the entire enemy team is on you, you have all of the space in the world on MNZ. And with this space, he got a Midas, he got an Iron Talon, he is hitting maximum farming speed. And fortunately, he's not going for another farming item after this. He's going to go right into the game. So I think around the 20-minute mark, they're just going to be ready to start pushing high ground on the side of Thunder Predator. Up 6k net worth at 12 minutes already.
Matthew making space over here. Very good at doing this. Eventually, though, Fortune's End will connect. Stars is waiting. He's got another Remnant, though. Frank joining in the fight, and Leo Style coming around the other side. Manages to go, gets a big old power shot. Oh, it's beautiful! Pengu should get taken down here, if not crushed. And there's going to be the buyback. Now they're trying to come forward. They want to save him. Stars taking so much damage. It's a good Oracle ulti being thrown out over onto the Zeus, but Frankie doesn't care. He can take all of this damage. He's just going to keep chasing after Stars. They don't have enough heals to keep him alive as they turn right back around again. Pingu gets shackled up to the tree. Lukey just barely managing to stay alive during all of this. So they'll go back in over here onto Lies. MJZ trying to hide over in the corner. Pingu, though, is going to fall. Lukey also gets found out by Matthew.
Oh my god, Leo Style, everything he does this game, he's doing perfectly. If you saw that at the start of the team fight, you know, the double shackle into a 3-man power shot, and that sets up a 3-man ice blast. No Pangolier, it is incredibly hard to do anything this game. It's not even that you're doing anything wrong, just everything Thunder Predator does feels perfect. I don't know what changed between the games earlier in this one. You know, just 2 series, they go, okay, we lost that last one. We need to focus up. We need to play our absolute best. And this is the Thunder Predator we know and love. This is the Thunder Predator that is the top team that constantly, you know, takes games off of Beast Coast and is contested to be the top in the region with them.
I gotta say, the draft just feels a little bit better this time around for Thunder Predator in both of these games. I think that makes a big difference. You know, I like Viper. I mean, not really. It's Viper. But, you know, it isn't fitting Leo Styles' play style. You know, this is a guy who likes to dodge in and out. He plays a godlike puck. He's very good with Storm Spirit. He's excellent with the Queen of Pain. Seeing him on a Viper, you know, the only person I think that I see on a Viper and I think, oh, this is going to be pretty good is Mr. Jeans, right? That is a Mr. Jeans hero 100%. But for Leo style, he's better on these very skirmishy, duck in and out sort of heroes. And of course, having Matthew on his Ember Spirit is also just absolutely fantastic. They do have the Chronosphere up here if they want to try to make something happen. But the rest of the team over on the back line, Shackle comes out. Lukey held into place. They've got an Ice Blast. He was going to fall. And uh-oh. We lost a couple players here.
Yeah, 2 heroes go down. So I'm interested in what you were talking about earlier as far as the Viper and the drafting earlier from Thunder Predator. Do you feel like Viper is, I don't know, just not taking advantage of Leo Styles' like play style and skill, his ability to outplay his opponents? Like,
yeah, 100%.
So it's like to telegraph what everything is going to do. Like you don't have that much opportunity, you know, like as you say, go in and out, you know, land these skill shots, trick the enemy into what you're doing and outplay them. It's all, I don't know, very easy to figure out what he's capable of on the Viper.
Exactly. And it's also just a slow hero. He likes to duck in and out of these fights. He likes being able to poke and prod. The only mid player I know right now, okay, there's going to be a Chronosphere, so they should be able to finally take down Leo Style. And that's about it, though, because the rest of them, they're just way too tanky on the back lines. They get those shooting chains off. It's going to be the save. Pingu using his ultimate on himself. Oof, I don't know if that was the play. And he's just going to get beaten down to death. There's no way that Pingu survives this. Pop, down he goes. Matthew says, prepare for a lesson. What were they saying? Estudian locals?
And that's it. They GG out. They know there's nothing that they can do. 15 minutes. This is the second shortest GG of the Monster Energy Summit 13 so far. Thunder Predator playing an amazing game. And these last 2 series, Leo Style, it was near perfect gameplay out of him. It was incredible.
Yeah, I'm going to say, again, you're not using Leo Style to his full potential unless you give him heroes that are going to duck in and out. The only mid player that I know that's pretty decent at like taking some of these bigger, slower, chunkier heroes is Bryle, right? His Underlord was insane the other day. And he can do it with like, you know, the Doom, anything like that. But you see how good Leo Style is when you give him the type of heroes that really fit his play style. So, you know, it was a fast game. My goodness, 15 minutes. And 39 seconds. If this were a pub, I don't think it would count practically, right? It's got to be a certain amount of time.
No, it's first kill that happens. But it definitely still counts. This is actually only the second shortest match. I believe that Quincy Crew managed to beat Cat Jammers in 13 minutes in a game earlier in this tournament. But, you know, amazing out of Elias there. My favorite part of all this is just the fact that how safe Stars was playing. You know, he was doing his best to not give Leo Style any advantage. And Leo Style, he was making a couple misplays in the mid lane. Like, he was throwing shackles off on the creeps that weren't latching, just trying to go forward nonstop there. You know, it wasn't perfect gameplay, but, you know, regardless of how careful Stars was playing, he still did all of that work. It was insane to watch.
Yeah, like I said, you know, I've mentioned this before. Every time I see Stars in the mid lane, even if he loses his lane, it's not ever where he just continuously goes back and he feeds or like he can't find anything to do. Like he really does search around the map. He finds these opportunities. He's like, okay, well, if I can't do this, it's almost like he's got a little flow chart going on. He always is trying to be very efficient in some manner or another and trying to find kills on the map. But in this case, you know, did the best he could, but unfortunately, Leo Style just drank his gamer juice today or something because he was on fire for this match in particular and the last one as well. So unfortunately, you know, it looks like no Pango. You know, they were on a bit of a hot streak yesterday, and today they're going to have to go back. And like you said, though, Neff, these open qualifier teams, it's an opportunity for them. They can go back, watch their replays, and see exactly where things started to fall apart and learn from it. So hopefully that's what they're going to do, and they'll come back even stronger next time.
Absolutely. No, that's all I really have to say. I didn't really get a chance to touch on a lot of these other heroes in game number 2, but you could barely feel their presence with how short the game was. Lies, he had a decent amount of farm, but nothing compared to what MNZ did just with how much he was farming. And of course, amazing support there by Matthew, enabling Leo Style to take off like that.
God, I love Matthew Ember Spirit. That dude is just too good at making space and really hitting the buttons at the right time so that way he makes them chase him around the map and somehow still manages to get away alive most of the time. Only one death on him this entire game. So yeah, that is it from us tonight, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, supporting NASA Dota. We really, really appreciate it. We appreciate the players too, making their time to come in and have an interview with us. I know, unfortunately, we can't really get a interview with Under Predator. We were trying to convince some of the players, but they're a little bit too shy with their English, and my Espanol is not good enough to hold an entire interview, unfortunately. And well, you know. But tonight we do have plenty tonight. We do have plenty more of the summit though coming up. Tomorrow, first game of the day is in fact Infamous versus Spirit. So we'll get a little Peruvian versus Brazilian action, which should be pretty fun. That is an open qualifier team. I think there's an Argentinian on that team too. So getting a little bit of everything in that particular South American match. But yeah, that's going to be it from us tonight. So again, thank you so much. Thanks to our sponsor, Monster Energy, for keeping us fueled. It is 12:30 here at night. I am very, very tired. I'm sure Neff is tired, and I'm sure production is also ready to go to bed. So we're going to say goodnight to you all, and we'll see you tomorrow.
waiting for. You've been on.
He does have the Aegis, however. DB, meanwhile, being ruptured up, so Cuckoo will just chase him down. Ooh. The finger out from Zephyr, kills off the Pangolier. Now, well, the Conquer, he's trying to run to the high ground. He's probably not going to make it. He does go down. And it's time for the high ground, it seems. Among Us, they've got the draft for it.
They definitely do. Like, they don't even have a huge Chen army here, but they're just going to get the work done. They've got all the heals in the world. They've still got Hand of God ready to go for March. They're going to get the reset in the mech, and they jump in.
Yeah, I'll bet another great initiation into the kill for Cuckoo, and that'll be your top racks going down. A very tough game number one from the side of Army Geniuses so far. It doesn't look to get any easier as time goes on. I've got to give real props to Arbet, John. He's been initiating so well on this DK.
No, he has. It's one of the great things about having a DK mid, right? Like it's just such an easy here to get the initiation on. Arbet is not scared at all. He's been enabled by his teammates. He knows March is there with the Hand of God in case his initiation goes wonky. But this is just really well coordinated coming out from Among Us. They know each other's limits. We have seen Abed do this in even the BTS Pro Series Season 3. He loves playing these active heroes, you know, starting to set up, starting to buy some space for his past one. And IYD's just been enabled for it. He's got this Sanjin Yasha up now, saving up for his Scotty next. Our Jug is looking really big.
Back onto the Night Stalker. Wormy just wants to get out of here, but there is a bit of a pincer move coming in from March. They also have In Your Dream rushing in after this Night Stalker. He does have the ulti now, so he'll try and go for a fly away, and looks like he is going to make it out. March, he's been X'd up. He could be in a spot of danger. It looks like they will leave March to die on the Chen. They do. I don't think they can really chase this, though. In Your Dream, he's got his ulti back up. He can turn around for a pretty big Omni with that double damage, and Arbet just pops the BKB with the Dragon Form straight into the Pango. He's gonna melt. In Your Dream gets the Omni off as well onto LYM. Mamang Daya, he's trying to run away. He'll BKB TP up, but Arbet might have the damage. He does not. However, Wormy left behind. They've called the GG. They don't want to put up with this torture anymore. And Among Us, they will take a very convincing game number one.
Yeah, just clean draft from Among Us, straightforward strat. We've talked about this when March was on TNC, but anytime you let March pick up Chen, you know March is having a good time. This is just straight up first phase ban material. His Chen strat. Say one save. They had these
This is the video you've all been waiting for. You've been on YouTube. You've seen the other This is the video you've all been waiting for. You've been on YouTube. You've seen the other videos. You heard about this thing. You watched the keynote. You're curious, as is anyone else who cares about gadgets, because this is unusual. This thing in front of me is a completely new take to the concept of console gaming. It's like the title of a book or something. The Nintendo Switch is the first console that goes with you. You can play with another person, even when you're mobile. There's a kickstand. It's like how many things in one? It's like on an infomercial. They're like, and it does this, and it does that, and one more thing. Why can't I get a Nintendo for 3 payments of $30? What's that all about, Jeff? The point is, what is the point? The package here, you can see, look, it's showing off some of the different ways you can play.
So, this is a big package, you can obviously tell. A very elaborate, super workstation / gaming computer potential. Look at this. That is, I don't even know how you etch that in. That's my face, in case you're wondering, and it's like laser etched and big O. This is from Origin PC. It's 2 boxes. Apparently inside of this box is a gaming computer / Xbox / PlayStation / Nintendo Switch in one unit. Kirk, am I correct on this? Is that the package deal? All in one place. So you get the best of all worlds. One for everything. They call it the Big O. I'm excited. This is different. I've never looked at anything like this before. Here we go. Oh boy, there's a whole process here. It's a process. Important. Oh man. High performance Origin. Thanks for the help, Will. That was hard. Will? Break a sweat or what? I don't even know how you fit all those things into one PC case, but I guess if you've got a big enough PC case.
Hello, guys.
Okay. When you buy like a high-end car, they put like this wrap on it when you go to collect it. It's kind of like a high-end vehicle right here. Oh man. Okay, this is insane. What? That's way better than I expected. It's crazy. They got each thing identified. And water-cooled. The Xbox is water-cooled with Xbox looking fluid. The PlayStation with PlayStation looking fluid. Xbox, PS4, Switch, HDMI out for a wired controller. So okay, it's a custom stuff right here. Really, this is all you would need. For the person who has everything, you put this in the game room. Check that out. Oh, wait a second. Yeah!
Oh my god.
The Switch is gonna slide in here and dock. You see the USB Type-C connector. You can freely remove and insert the Nintendo Switch. That's a HDMI switcher box on the front. You can switch with a remote control. So you never need to change the TV's input. The TV stays HDMI 1, The PC runs all the liquid cooling pumps for the entire system, including the liquid cooling on the consoles. This exceeded my expectations. This, everybody who worked on it, check it out, man. We call it the Big O. This 2019 edition of the Big O combines an Xbox One X, a PlayStation 4 Pro, a Nintendo Switch, and an extremely high-end gaming PC, all into our flagship Genesis desktop chassis. The Big O is a testament to our hard work and creativity when it comes to PC building. We're proud to share it with you and your team to show the world. With the signatures, everybody who worked on it, that's cool. If you slide this panel up, you get access to your power switch, Type-C, other USB inputs, and this is a switch. Okay, that makes sense. And you're gonna slide this guy in and dock it like that. Holy, wow, check this out. Okay, so Void Pro RGB gaming headset. In here, PlayStation controller, you're gonna need that. Connect your Joy-Cons in there to that one. Xbox One X. It's gotta be blacked out. It's gotta match the case, of course. The premium headset stand with 7.1 surround. So this goes with the Void Pro headset. As you can see, that's what it looks like docked. The M65 RGB Elite gaming mouse. This is a mouse mat with a built-in USB pass-through. Of course, a gaming mouse pad, obviously. K95 RGB Platinum. As you can see, RGB colors in the back, mechanical keyboard, MX, Cherry MX switches. This thing is made out of aircraft grade anodized brushed aluminum, and I can tell from the weight right now, I think it's serious. Okay, so we've got it all set up now. It's all hooked up, and there's a couple different ways that you can utilize this. The way it's going right now is that all the systems, the PlayStation, the Xbox, and the Nintendo Switch, which is docked in the front, are all heading via HDMI into this HDMI switcher on the front right here, which has a remote control to go with it. Now that is going to have its own independent HDMI output, which is going to one of the inputs on this monitor right here that we selected. That's the ultra-wide latest 38-inch, 3840 resolution, but most interestingly, 1 millisecond of response time is from LG. I'll link it in the description. For gaming, you're going to want a fast response time in the millisecond department, but then you're also going to want the resolution to take advantage of having like a $3,000 plus graphics card, obviously. So Kirk, look at him. It looks beautiful. Look at the responsiveness. Look at the FPS. It's Overwatch. He's eliminating the foes. He's even playing with Dave 2D, I think, right now. So how about that for a shout out? So input 1 would essentially be all your consoles. Input 2 could then be your PC. And the reason I think this makes sense is because the consoles themselves are going to output likely a different resolution than what the PC is capable of. As you can tell here, this is an unusual aspect ratio on this display. With PC gaming, that's no issue. Just map it out accordingly. Consoles, on the other hand, not really doing the exotic resolutions. So you're going to have black bars when you switch over to PlayStation, Xbox, or Nintendo Switch. So send them all into the same HDMI switcher, since they're going to be pumping out the same resolution to begin with. The other potential implementation is more if you plan on being a game streamer and you want to stream games not just from the PC but also from all of the consoles. Then what you're going to want to do is utilize the game capture card, which is in here, capable of 4K 60 frames. Then all you would do on the same input, on the PC input, you would just launch into the capture card and maximize that frame, and then with no latency, you'd be able to play with your various controllers, so you wouldn't need to utilize another input on the monitor. Now, the last way, you could send the PC output to a monitor like this one, which can really take advantage of the PC's capabilities, then you could send the HDMI output from the switcher to like a TV, which you also have in the setup, the singular HDMI output from this HDMI switcher to the TV, and keep the PC active on the monitor, and then just flip between the two, all coming off of one single box. Something cool I noticed on the back of the device, this hard wire, this hard line Ethernet connection is coming from the Xbox. You would obviously want to have a wired connection to the motherboard of the PC. Then you could share that connection via this Ethernet cable, which is pre-installed and connected to the Xbox. So the Xbox hypothetically would have a more reliable connection. So anyway, okay, Kirk is on the PC. He's playing right now. As far as he's concerned right now, it's a regular, typical PC gaming type of scenario. Now switch the input on the monitor. So he'll just reach over, switch the input, and what you'll see is it'll go right into Nintendo Switch. But then
you know, do the whole things. I do apologize. I don't have enough time to do it right now, unfortunately. Apart from that, though, John, how you doing?
You know, I'm doing great, Mike. Here for game number 2. First game was pretty fast for Among Us. Army Geniuses went with a very strange draft. Didn't manage to hit their timings. Of course, they are bottom groups right now. They need to start climbing up if they want to have a shot at the playoffs. Among Us is a very hard team. They were number 1 for a while until the past few series were played. So they dropped a bit, but they've got a few more left. Still chances to climb back up. Still pretty much locked into the top 4 for now. And Army Geniuses has to pull something different. So we do have different openers here for both sides. Among Us opting this time for the Magnus first, which we have seen continuously banned as well. And Army Geniuses do get to pick up the Tiny. So very active heroes from both sides. Among Us having the flexibility for Magnus core on safe, off, or mid, or even as a pause 4 or 5. Army Geniuses Tiny could be mid. More than likely is just the pause 4 here, so not as flexible, but you have some options, and Tiny does enable a lot of aggressive play that we were looking for from Army Geniuses.
Once again, John, the Chen is allowed to go through, so naturally Among Us do take it for themselves. And I do love seeing the Magnus, of course. We know Abed, he loves playing the Magnus, does tend to perform extremely well on the hero. This could be a very scary game already for Army Geniuses just based off the start we have here. They will respond with an Elder Titan now along with that Tiny, so very strong combination there with the aura of the Elder Titan reducing that magic resist plus the Tiny Avalanche Toss combo. It's a lot of damage, but I think you do have to be worried about a repeat of what happened in Game 1. If you are Army Geniuses, just be a little bit careful about what else you give away here with this draft. As you know, you don't want to have another 25-minute game if you are this Radiant side.
Definitely not. And I mean, Among Us, he said it, but they get to go back to the Chen. Army Geniuses just fall back to the ET that we saw a bit in game number 1. So we'll see if they can correct the issues. I think Tiny should enable that a bit more. But ET5 is just, it's such a hard hero to play on a hard 5.
Yep.
I think it has to be a 4, but you can't share that spot with Tiny. So maybe a core ET here for Army Geniuses on the off. Not too sure how I feel about that. Asia, we'll see. Among Us, we talked about it. If it's not banned, he will pick it up, and he's dancing every straightforward bans coming out here. Army Geniuses taking out the Magnus combos. Among Us taking out some team fight combos and the Tide to just prevent their save. So it's no big surprises yet. It's always a case of when you see Magnus, it's pick your poison. Right? You can't ban all of the cores that gets enabled by Empower. They last banned the Ricky, but that leaves the Jug, it leaves the Sven, it leaves all sorts of options here that Army Geniuses will have to find a way to control.
By the way, John, I believe you didn't really notice, but Cuckoo was inviting you out.
Oh yeah, that I saw.
You did see it.
I was having lunch, but like I saw it when I came back like a minute before we launched, so I
Okay.
couldn't reply. The moment I scrolled up, it's like, oh, Zek's launch lobby. You can say it.
What
He was
is it?
inviting me to Okada.
Okada.
It's like a
Okada.
hotel chain. It's like a big hotel chain in Manila by the Bayside. I've been there a couple of times for the food. Not it has a casino. I think that's what Cuckoo was asking for. But I'm down for the food, Cuckoo. Your treat, libre mo. Ah. His treat, Mike. It's got to be him. He's got the big bucks. He's a pro player.
Yeah,
He can treat us.
I
You
agree.
come down as well. He'll cover the tab.
I hope he does, John. I'd like to fly over to the Philippines.
Mhm.
Can't really afford to right now, and we can't anyway because there's a pandemic going on. But maybe one day we'll get to visit Cuckoo if he ever follows me on Twitter, John. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he doesn't even know who I am. Army Geniuses, they go for the Grimstroke third pick. Among Us again picking up the Lion, which I'd say you're very happy to see, John. Zephyr, it did make the Lion look very good last game, I want to say. Army Geniuses, they do go for a bit of a more standard draft now with the Spectre. So, accepting the fact that they may not be able to beat Among Us during the early to mid game. So let's just go with the Spectre and go for that ultra late game. Among Us, though, probably could just draft around finishing the game in mid-game again and never allowing the Spectre to be online anyway.
And they already have a draft to do that. It's Chen Lion again. We saw the magic damage they can pump out. We saw the control Among Us can pump in here. Spectre is nice, but it really doesn't solve their issue. It's still a hero that has awkward timings. Maybe you see more activity with Blade Mail Haunt. Of course, with a Grimstroke pickup here for Army Geniuses, we are seeing, say, an ET core, and Among Us do get that Sven. So it's the Sven Magnus coming in. You've got this insane armor now with a Warcry. Add that with the healing you get from Chen, you're going to have a hard time bursting the heroes of Among Us down. The ET, it kind of helps, but we always talk about this when Sven comes out against ET. Yeah, you take away the base armor and base resists, but Warcry kind of just counteracts that. So they still have durability here Among Us, and it's going to be difficult now to kind of zone it out. They are leaving the last pick here for Abed and for Mamang Daya, so we'll see what kind of mid matchups we can expect. I think that should be the Cuckoo Magnus, but there is the possibility for Abed Magnus as well. So it is kind of flex actually for Among Us.
Yeah. Final banouts now coming out Among Us. Looks like they're just getting rid of offlaners right now. Potentially mid laners, I suppose, but they probably are guessing it's just going to be a mid Magnus here for the Dire side. So focusing in on those Cuckoo heroes. Just things that you don't want the Spectre to be up against. We saw the Bloodseeker being removed by Army Geniuses, which is very influential last game, I want to say, especially with that Lion combination. See the Venomancer being removed by Among Us, Army Geniuses, one more.
I think that's what they're looking for. It doesn't take much to do that, though, especially with how Zephyr plays. So you just want something to pile on the control with the Lion. I don't know. His classics are gone. They even ban out the Bat Rider on their side here Among Us. So you don't have that to play with. With a Sven and a Magnus, you could maybe go for Darkseer, but we have not seen Darkseer in a very long time now. They go to Doom instead. So that's one way, right? Doom out, really tanky frontliner, great with the Lion. Level 6 spikes are awesome. Army Geniuses do go with a Pugna to counteract that, which is interesting. And it's the Mamang Daya ET.
Okay.
A bit of a shake-up there.
Interesting. So, if they're going to have the mid ET, it is quite lane dominant. You could make that argument with the Astral Spirit. You do get a lot of damage out of that. I thought maybe they'd want the Pugna mid to be very disruptive towards Abed on the mag, because you could just keep spamming your W, just keep disarming him with the Decrepify. I suppose you could do the same thing to In Your Dream, though, on the Sven, so either way, the Pugna is very strong in this matchup. And it does seem like Army Geniuses are just playing your standard 4 Protect 1 style draft, where they're just going to try and create as much space as possible for DB to just farm up on the Spectre. Do you like what they have, John? Do you think they're going to perform better than last game up against Among Us?
It should be better than game one. They've got more aggression that can come out here. I do still favor Among Us's draft. I think the execution's so much simpler. The item timings are a bit more straightforward as well. Abid should still be able to find farm. The key thing with ET against Magnus, I think, is more of the fact that Mamang Daya with the Spirit can turn those stacks that Abid might want to build up or his supports might want to build up in the sides against him. So you get so much more added damage. You can run up, you can try to right click. It is still a melee hero against Magnus though, so once you get an investment in the skewer, you might end up on the wrong side of the map. That's something Mamang Daya has to be aware of. And as you mentioned, it's a 4 protect 1 strat here for Army Geniuses. I think it's still going to be a bit of a struggle. There are things they can do to shake it up. Actually, no. They are putting Wami down mid instead. So it is still the off-lane ET. They're just switching the players around. And that's a bit better. You talked about the disarms that's in play there. Abid can kind of just rely on the Shockwave, though. So I think emphasis on Shockwave this game for Abid should be priority. And honestly, the timing should still be right around the same.
You should have known better.
But I do agree with that choice to throw Wami in the mid lane up against Abid. I think it's probably more important to slow down Abid, if anything. He is the one that tends to create a lot of space on his mid heroes.
Mike, look at this. Look at what UK is doing.
What's he doing, John?
He's doing it too.
Oh! What? Wait a minute.
Hello?
UK.
Whoa.
Is it Whitemon playing? Is he?
No. No.
Is UK the imposter, John? Is that what he is?
Might be it. That might just be it.
Fun
Oh,
fact,
man.
ladies and gentlemen. I asked Cuckoo in the lobby why Whitemon hits the Roshan, and Cuckoo did say because he thinks he looks cool doing it. So I guess UK might also believe that he looks cool doing it, John. He did look pretty cool. I'll give him that.
I suppose. Still, doesn't quite secure them additional bounties. Looks like it will be a 2-for-2 trade. Straightforward start. Mid lane, you know, it is that Pugna versus the Magnus, which we've talked about a bit. Still have to see that develop. Looks like Abid's holding out on his level 1. Wami does go straight for the decrep though, just to be annoying towards Abid. So again, it's just down to denying the right clicks, and Abid's gonna find out the hard way. There you go. Just stare at the creeps.
You'd expect it though, right? You know he's gone for that Decrepify. There's no other thing you do with the Pugna. Just go for that level 1 Decrepify and just BM him essentially. Just be annoying.
Yeah, gonna be important to get the supports there around a 4-minute bounty. 4-minute power runes. We'll see if that's something they emphasize. Of course, stacks for Abid is really important as well. We've got to look at these sidelines. Up top, you do have March trying to annoy or start to prevent at least this pull that Lim is pulling off. So good amount of EXP our Tiny's gonna get. That is one way to get these supports up and running. Of course, you are putting Mamang Daya short, and that is forcing IYD to last hit under the tower. But we've seen IYD and a lot of these pause ones in this situation. They don't really mind too much. It's basically free farm right now for his Sven.
It is. The thing is, though, by doing this, he is going to reset the lane equilibrium, which is maybe going to be a little bit annoying for In Your Dream later on. As they will just keep the lane around this area by the tier 1 tower. And March, of course, will just have to go for a large camp pull to try and reset the lane. It's really the only way to get the reset off, but he has missed the timing. So, In Your Dream is going to have a bit of a struggle here, I think. It's a very ugly position for him to have to be in.
Something they can abuse. You would want level 2 to be running though on LYM first, but doesn't look like he's that close, so probably just going to be a straight farming here for Mamang Daya for now. And we'll see if our Tiny gets some space out. But you still are seeing the large camp trying to be worked by March. IYD has gotten some good solo EXP though, level 3 now. Would want some levels on your Chen, but again, we'll just check in on that lane down the line. Over at bot though, the last lane we haven't talked about. You've got Cuckoo on his offlane Doom, Zephyr once more in that Lion. UK, of course, is on that Grimstroke, and DB's on the Spectre. And this lane is pretty straightforward. You're still finding farm for DB. A Doom is not something you can completely zone out, though. And Cuckoo's just leveraging that regen, leveraging the Devour. keeping the lane in check and just kind of finding steady farm. We don't expect anything explosive here until Sepher maybe hits 3 or 4, but even then, you might not have opportunities. UK as well has been very conservative in his harassment here.
I'm having a look at that top lane again, John. In your dream, he's having a tough time here. I love what Army Geniuses have done in this top lane. Especially with this Elder Titan off lane, right? Like, if you can just keep the lane pushed towards your side of things, it's going to be impossible for In Your Dream to farm properly. And even now, LYM, he gets the large camp pull off. It is not contested. March is currently busy dealing with the small camp pull he's made, but this is not going to be good news. The wave is going to push again towards the T1 tower of the Radiant, and In Your Dream is going to be in another awkward position.
It's not safe for IYD, and you've got the levels up now on LYM to kind of bully him, so IYD is just further forward. You talked about the toss potential that's there. They are going to go for these runes first, though, and LYM's just in a good spot, finds that illusion rune, and Wami now gets a refill. So the mid lane as well for Abed, which has been pretty even, 21-3, 19-4 for Wami. With this illusion, Wami's going to have more opportunities to just play aggressive and spam out his spells.
Things are going much, much better here for Army Geniuses this game number 2. I do love the fact that they've changed their draft and the way they're playing the lanes now. And that's one of the things you can do up against a team that, you know, is arguably just a better team, is you create chaos in the lane, right? You just don't allow them to just run your standard kind of laning stage. You just make it very chaotic, as they've been doing up at this top lane. And that will naturally just slow down In Your Dream's farm on the Sven as LYM. He's going to go in with a toss back onto the Sven. Mamang Daya going in, looking for that Sven, and In Your Dream, he'll Stormhammer, but there's really not many places he can go. Luckily for him, they blocked each other off on Army Geniuses, but the stop will still be there. Mamang Daya, he does get it off In Your Dream, still making a run for it, and does successfully juke them out. But he will be forced to TP back to the fountain, and that's going to mean more time that he is not farming. Luckily for him, though, John March can just recall him back. And they're going to go again.
Boy.
Back onto Mamang Daya. He's going to be okay.
It's just some great back and forth, and you're hitting your strides here. There's the toss back from LYM, and the damage output from this Tiny is just big.
Wami's joined in as well, but he doesn't get the Decrepify off. This is not really what you wanted as the Pugner, making the walk all the way up towards that top lane, but not getting anything out of it. He's going to have to commit a TP back into the mid lane to deal with Abed, who is somehow at the top of the last hit spot.
Yeah, it's a Magnus in the end. I mean, Wami's been playing with the Decrep, but Abed's also kind of at least got the Shockwave to the last hit. It is pretty annoying, though, with Wami spam, but yeah, Abed's also been dipping into his jungle camps every now and again, so that's one thing Among Us does have on hand. They are building huge stacks. Look at March. Look at these stacks in the jungle. We've talked about this with TNC before. March is bringing that same playstyle with his Chen, just absolutely massive stacks to clear later on.
Well, I think this is one of the things that's very valuable about March, is he really does prioritize stacking up like that. And it's always around the same time, and we saw this during the BTS Pro Series 3 when he was teaming up with TNC. He does just get these stacks off constantly. And of course, not only does it favor his cause who do farm it, but even him, as he does get some of the gold off of those stacks. And of course the XP as well, as he does tend to hang around while they are taking the stacks. A very valuable kind of support thing to do. But bot lane, first blood does occur now. Cuckoo is able to get it with the Shockwave. And it's going to be a very nice start as they do get the Spectre.
And that was just aggression coming out from Army Geniuses. They were trying to play with its Inkswell combination with a Spectre, but there's not much damage they can really opt for, and now they're trying to fight over these stacks.
Well, LYM, he was trying, but he's going to get punished for it, as In Your Dream can't actually reach him. So he can't get the last hit off. It's going to be a bit of wasted time here for In Your Dream, but they will successfully take the stacks away. Abed did just take most of them on the mag. That'll help him get to his Echo Saber Blink a lot faster. And overall, that will give them the 2k net worth lead at the 7.5 minute mark.
Similar timings to game one. 0-1, slower start, but the farm lead definitely being built up here by Among Us. Biggest issue is still the fact that DB is not given that same space. I mean, you know, you're not building stacks here on the side of Army Geniuses. The lane has been fairly difficult for DB. We're seeing that same blade mail build up here in the Spectre, which should help accelerate the farm, but they haven't really lined themselves up for a first use of that haunt as well. They might want to make use of that and then just go back to farming, try to get a pick off, and kind of cycle through that cooldown every now and again when they can. They are smoked up though, looking up top.
You definitely want to get aggressive with this Pugna, but in your dream is going to TP at the perfect time. That is very unfortunate for the side of Army Geniuses. I'm not sure if they were scouted out, smoking up. I don't think they were. Maybe this would actually got them. No, in fact, I believe they were.
I think they were slightly south, but they were just absolutely not showing up.
Okay.
They definitely just kind of telegraphed that a bit too much. I mean, when you leave your Spectre alone bot and he shows by the tier 1, right? That's already a pretty big warning sign that they're trying to get something done. And, you know, now DB's just in the jungle. They miss out on that kill off. They still don't use Haunt. Army Geniuses, they're slow sieging with Wami. And this is something you can do with the Nether Blast. They're trying to clear the tier 1, but it's pretty slow going.
It is. Bot tier 1 does go down. Wami trying to get the better trade. But, of course, Among Us not going to be willing to just give this away for free. Are going to start rotating into that mid lane. And you know this was bound to happen when you are up against the Pugna. So Cuckoo, he'll rotate in. He'll pop the Scorched Earth and just chase down UK. Inkswell stun will be there for a second, but it won't matter. In fact, Arbed gets a 2-man RP off with a great shockwave. The Doom's going to be there on Wami. He'll try to run away. Cuckoo will continue the chase. In fact, in your dreams here now, he'll go for the Roshan deny attempt. It will be no good, however. In your dream, with the stun, will stop that. Mamang Daya does come in, but Arbed going to skewer him up to the high ground and walk away from all this. And Mamang Daya, he's going to be met by Zephyr. The finger will come out with the shockwave from the low ground. Arbed Magnus, once again, performing just to perfection.
It absolutely is. Such a treat to watch when it does come out. And all of a sudden, Among Us have a 6k lead at the 10.5-minute mark, Mike. Like, this is a Spectre draft that's supposed to be buying space for this one hero. DB's farm is lagging behind. They still haven't found that mid-tier 1. They use the Haunt to no great effect. They need to find these pickoffs. They need to find the angle. I'm looking at LYM. The blink timing on Tiny is just going to be so delayed, and they need some way of jumping in on these fights.
Well, mid lane, they are going to try and go onto Zephyr, but they're not going to be able to catch him out. In fact, Arbed is going to join in to try and kill off UK. They do have the Stormhammer to fly in from In Your Dream, and that'll be UK going down. That tier 1, he does get denied. At the very least, now that tower is down, so if you're Army Geniuses, you can now kind of sleep well at night knowing that you did finally get the tower. But all that gold you wanted from that tier 1 tower has been denied. And quite frankly, John, it's not the best timing either, considering it is a Pugna draft. But top lane, Cuckoo, Avalanche, Toss, they could just get the Doom here. He tries to pop the drums, eats the 1 charges. It is not going to matter, however. They do manage to take him out.
It's a solid kill. First kill of the game for Army Geniuses. That does allow them to set their eyes up top. So if they take this top tier 1 as well, that's 2 towers that they'll have over the 1 tower Among Us is taken. That should allow them to actually roam into that jungle completely. And that's going to be important to lock out the farm. Issue is Among Us are going to be comfy enough to just play in the triangle. I think they're at that point where they're already tossing Abed down south and the bottom jungle anyway, so they've already shifted objectives, shifted farming areas. They need to get something done for the Spectre. You're playing a farming game with a Spectre. The Blade Mail's not up yet. The Sven just has this natural cleave. Abed has his own cleave as well. They are farming way more efficient than the Spectre can. They need some pickoffs here.
Oh, Cuckoo, once again, going to be caught here. He is definitely out of position there, Cuckoo. Not expecting the immediate smoke after that top tier 1 tower. He will end up paying for it once again. Be just a little bit cautious and maybe pay a bit more respect over to Army Geniuses.
Yeah, it is a pretty big target to get. You know, Cuckoo's number 2 as well. So these kills are counting for the side of Army Geniuses, and it's making it harder for the Doom to at least escalate. I don't think Cuckoo minds too much. His Blink is still pretty darn close, and Abed's still free farming. So we've got the Echo Saber up on Abed, Blink to follow, Echo Saber done as well on our Sven. So IYD is pretty much set up, just going into the BKB Ags. They need to keep playing this jungle, and it looks like Army Geniuses understands that.
Zep has been trying to suss out what's going on in his jungle. Gonna play some wards down, and UK will do the exact same thing on the Grimstroke, just get some deep wards in. Into that mid lane, there will be a smoke up. Was right next to a sentry ward, but they shouldn't be too aware of this. EG just holding their ground. They will now break the smoke. Zephyr, Soulbind is going to be there with the double silence out, and now Wami getting that disarm. Abed looking for an RP, does only get one. They have caught out Zephyr already. Now the skewer back into two heroes. The sleep being quite disruptive. Abed, he's running out of HP, trying to run, will go down, but here comes In Your Dream. Onto Wami, another disarm out with the Decrepify. He's still running away. Now DB will come back in. In Your Dream, he's getting very low. He's trying to run. He will not get away, however. Army Geniuses making it happen as they get an avalanche in. And that'll be another going down. Cuckoo was unable to even find a Doom in that team fight.
Just perfect initiation coming out from Army Geniuses. Having the right hero break that smoke, UK gonna be glad he was at that spot. They needed bigger targets to initiate on first. Zephyr needed to use that finger to at least get the numbers advantage going before he died. Couldn't get that done. And Army Genius is going to be very happy with the trade. You had DB around for those kills, so he did get some AoE gold from that. And you're in a pretty good spot now. You do still have this 3k lead on Among Us. They need to take a step back, work on getting these BKBs up first. IYD's been rushing it. I think at this point, Abed might want to go BKB before Blink. The initiation's not down to him. That is going to be Cuckoo's job now as he rushed his Blink. You can afford to kind of just go BKB mag in this game, I think, but we'll see what he opts for. Still holding out for the Blink. But those items need to come in. The disarms you mentioned from our Pugna is causing issues, and without any major cooldowns besides Haunt, Army Geniuses keep smoking up.
That they do. They know they're strong right now. They're going to make full advantage of it. Dyer looking for a stomp. Does actually catch out March. YM going to come in, but no, he gets hexed up straight away by Zephyr. Into the Earth Spike. And Wami is going to come in. Gets another blast off, but March is healing up with the mech. LYM getting a toss back into the creep. Wami now will be able to finish the job. AG really getting that aggression going. Do get another pick off onto March here. And while they still aren't reclaiming the net worth lead, they might have to address the bot lane, which is being pushed in right now. They are being aggressive, which I do like to see. Yeah, bot lane, In Your Dream. Gonna turn around now, Abed gonna join in, LYM gonna get RP'd up, Wami, he'll go for a run. Looks like he should be okay, Abed. He does not have a blink up yet. He's actually 20 gold off it. He cannot keep up. However, Lamang Dyer, going for a bit of a fight by himself, is going to end up paying for it.
That's a big set of kills now, evening it out for Among Us on the kill board. 8-8, blink out for Abed, as you mentioned, so he has the options to jump and skewer back. The BKB here for IYD still a ways off, but they're looking down mid.
Charge in, but Horn is going to be there. They're chasing down Abed with the Decrepify. It looks like they do secure the kill, and with the Horn, they will also get Zephyr. Again, things looking great, and Among Us looking a bit overly confident going into that mid lane with only two heroes, and they end up paying for it once again.
Yeah, it's again, great uses for Army Geniuses to keep finding these counterfights. Among Us are really aggressive when they're not lined up. Abed's positioning has been far more forward than you'd expect. We still haven't seen Zephyr get a finger out since that first finger. And you look at Army Geniuses. They find those kills, they keep running up. They still have that control in the jungle, and they're just going to play here. Among Us need to get some D wards out, need some more vision as well. They've only got one ward down bot. That's not doing much for them. Need to keep some information on the map to know these movements from Army Geniuses, because they have been highly effective in these rotations. Like, I'm looking at DB, Matt Salt's gonna come out next. His Blade Mails caused so many issues for Sepher in just getting his spells out. Like, even just throwing the Earth Spike hurts Sepher so much because of how squishy he is. And it's just causing so many issues for Among Us in terms of these greater fights. They still are ahead in that word, but if they keep throwing bodies like this, that's not gonna last for too long.
No, it is not. It's like Cuckoo. He's in Biz. He wants to go for a Doom, but they are right behind. OYM and UK are able to help out. Cuckoo gonna keep walking up, seeing what he can find in the river. The rest of his team taking the other way around, trying to almost pincer in the side of EG. Army Geniuses just gonna hold their ground near the shrine. Looks like they're gonna be okay for now. Cuckoo, however, will show himself up that top lane, and he is by himself once again, but he spots him out. He will blink out of there and turn back around. Cuckoo, maybe just trying to bait for his team, but Army Geniuses seem to be well aware that something is wrong here. Or maybe not, as their Elder Titan does get caught out, and now they jump in. Cuckoo also getting a Doom off onto the Tiny. They've lost Mamang Daya. They've got the Doom. Who do they want? They will just chase down this Tiny. They will get him. LYM will also go. Everyone else will just run away. So it's only really the Titan and Tiny to die. I suppose still a successful team fight here for Among Us. They might be able to claim this mid-tier 1 out of this.
I think you're feeling really good now, Among Us. Those kills have given IYD his finisher on the BKB. So you've got the BKB Sven now, the disarm, and the magic damage coming through from Army Geniuses. Not going to stop the Sven from frontlining. They don't find the mid-tier 1, but they're in a really good spot with their Sven. Ags is going to be up next. Even the progression here for Abed. He's still 2 parts away, but is well, at least in the process of saving up for that BKB on the Magnus, and Cuckoo as well is on the way there. So they might want to just wait for the BKBs on their 2 other cores before forcing the bigger engagements. And that's still a window of opportunity for Army Geniuses. They need to play while this Pugna is strong. It's just every time they start to split up, it does fall flat. You can't have your 2 supports running around by themselves. They need some backup. Mamang Daya was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time, as well as the core ET. But even as, like, say, a trio, I don't think it's too well advised to run there. You want at least 4 plus the Spectre Haunt to be up before kind of foraying into that jungle too much.
Mid lane, Stomp is going to connect out onto In Your Dream with the Meteor Hammer follow-up, but Arped has something to say about that. He'll commit the RP onto the Titan, and that is going to be Mamang Daya going down once again. Or maybe not. Ethereal Ring, or whatever it's called, the Essence Ring. Yeah, it gives him a bit of time. Mamang Daya, though, does die, and politely ask them to leave his property, as now LYM will jump in with an avalanche toss, but the heals are coming in with the BKB. In Your Dream will fight back. He'll get the kill, he'll get the tower, and he's out of there.
Big objective taken out, and that's the first BKB charge for IYD, which it's not quite the best. You don't find the biggest targets, but you take that mid-tier 1, you retake map control, you widen your lead here to 10k. You see where DB's at. Like, they push mid, DB doesn't have a space to farm in, wasn't up top. Wrong side of the map here for the Spectre, so he's just stuck. Has a TP, but you would rather just walk to these camps and clear them out. It's just not safe for DB, and should be a bit careful. He doesn't have vision into his jungle, and he still has not committed. They might be able to catch him out if he's not cautious, but this is all just time your Spectre's not farming. And that's just not very productive for Army Geniuses. The network gap keeps growing. Your Pugna grows less effective. They do smoke up, though.
It is a big smoke. Well, they caught out. It's going to be Cuckoo. Oh, that's a quick blink out from Cuckoo. Very fast reactions from our Doom. That's going to ruin the smoke completely. AG Gonna have to go back to the drawing board, figure something else out. They've got to keep creating this space for their Spectre. But it looks like right now they're feeling a bit of pressure here, and they're just gonna sit back and try to relax for a bit. We do see the TP's up towards that top lane to try and chase down Arbed, but he's already TP'd out. He doesn't want a bar of it. Among Us, he will back off, and it seems as though they just feel very confident going into the later stages of the game with their Sven Doom mag.
Yeah, they definitely are. I mean, you have nothing to block RP. It's always going to pierce that BKB. You have superior farming. The Spectre is just one hero, and they are smoked up. They've got all the BKBs ready except for Abed's.
Morning,
They
everyone.
want him. In fact,
My
no,
name's-
Abed has his. So all 3 cores have their BKBs. It's time to fight. Time to force the issue now.
And it is. Cuckoo run straight past the Grimstroke. Arbed will take him. UK going to go down very easily as Cuckoo goes for more. He wants DB on that Spectre. He spotted him out for a second, but DB is backing off very quickly. Or maybe not. Cuckoo gets a great stop off into the Doom and In Your Dream. Going to get the Stormhammer follow-up. And DB, he has to try and survive somehow, but he's a bit of a sitting duck. Cuckoo almost actually dies to dispersion damage, but he does survive, and they will get another. Among Dire also getting caught out on the older Titan. And with that, they'll get a top tier 1 tower. They might even look into that Roshan pit.
It's going to be a really straightforward Roche for them to take. They've still got the RP here on Among Us. They've still got the Hand of God. There needs to be some perfect plays from Army Geniuses if they want to contest, but 2 heroes down, not a very safe play for them. So it should be a freebie Roche here for the side of Among Us. I love this shakeout from March as well. Gets the Pipe of Insight. They're just going to keep looking to play aggressive here.
Gonna spot out Cuckoo, but they don't feel confident jumping in as 3, which is fair enough.
Hello po.